I've returned. Transition. Oh god. Transition. Okay. I have fucked up the audio immediately. We're fine now. It's all good. Hey, how you doing, Rios? We're back with uh, fun times rating games. Last we left off was, I think this was during was the year of anniversary, or the year anniversary, first year words. Sorry, it's like 4 in the morning. Forgive me. Last we left off was Life is Strange and Walking Dead, so we did those ones. So we want to move on to the next step. Just for reference, I've already done all these previous games underneath. And I guess let me quickly start, no spoilers whatsoever, but let me quickly put an addendum to a video I released recently. I rated these games, and so this Little Hope, Manamedan, House of Ashes on the main channel, and that video did have spoilers with it, but just for like a general, since I've already rated it, like I don't want to get into like a whole thing with it again, so I'm just going to reiterate those games. For me, and this might be a little bit different from the video, but so bear with me on that. But having played more House of Ashes, this is a little bit more of a slightly updated version of it. But Menamedan's going to be, I'd say, a 7. Little Hope is like a 6. Even though I liked more of it, I just story reasons, it's lower. And for House of Ashes, I want to say an 8 because even like I don't like the way the story goes as well, but like it doesn't go as bad about that. Um, and I don't know, I just like the story setting more. But even when it does its switch, I still like it. And I don't know, like more with the characters. I don't know, I liked it more. The game had more depth with like certain outcomes that I wasn't even able to really tell throughout. Like I was still running into new stuff even as I was trophy hunting it, like more than I expected. So that was nice. But anyway, with that said, but yeah, like plot wise, like I didn't like the twist, but I didn't think there was any super major large plot holes like there was in Little Hope. I felt like, and the somewhat Metamadon. But yeah, we continue on with like where we left off initially. Yeehaw and all that. Okay, so here we are. We're back to Wolf Among Us. Likewise, I'm obviously not going to rate the games on the scale of like, oh, here's the PS3 version versus the PS4 version, right? Or here's the PS4 versus the PS5. For the most part, most of those experiences are going to be the same. The only reason I would mention something different is maybe if it was like a complete edition, right? So I guess one thing to note for that reason alone is that if we say The Walking Dead on PS4 uh, you'll notice that the PS3 version here is missing some trophies. It's because it had DLC called 400 Days, of which I never played on PS3, but I did play it on PS4, as you can tell, 100%. I liked it, like the 5 little mini stories that they had to bring it together, and then the fact that like it affects very minorly, of course, but does affect a bit of season 2 of The Walking Dead, so I liked it. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, of course. Uh, I'll point out ahead of time if I'm gonna get into like spoilery territory. I don't know. I couldn't say the word. Just I'll point it out ahead of time so no one has to worry about it. But the Wolf Among Us, honestly, to me, like 9 out of 10 at least, maybe 9.5. I don't think I'd go as far as 10. Some of the choices are kind of it's Telltale games, and so they always kind of have that like choices like they matter, but not really that much. Wolf Among Us felt like the choices mattered more for starters, I'd say, and also the fact that like the world is really cool. I've never read stuff about like the Fables, like story, but it's definitely made me interested in the world, and I like the reimaginings of the fairy tale settings of characters, like the big bad wolf, obviously, and Cinderella and stuff like that. Um, that's actually a cool emote there. Oh, it's one of Nixon's. I like that. I like that little skull flashing. Hey, what up, Zane? How you doing? No, I'm not trophy flexing. I'm just like reminiscing about. I don't know if it's reminiscing. Kind of like more so just rating them. If I want to flex, let me flex recently where I'm at. We are not going to flex Peppa Pig. I'll promise you that. But what we will flex is Hunt Showdown as a platinum. That's cool. We'll get to that game eventually at some point in the future when I decide to rate him. But yeah, I did House of Ashes twice, Men of Medan, Little Hope twice. I did those like way earlier. Currently working on Life is Strange True Colors. I started it earlier today, and so that's why it's not like completed yet, of course. But yeah, there's definitely things that are brag worthy here. I feel like Dragon Ball Fighters, um, Minecraft Dungeons, yeah, Yakuza 4, Mortal Kombat 11, um, Pac-Man Museum Plus, obviously Yakuza 3, but yeah, GTA 5, yada yada, right? So there's things that I feel like are like, yeah, hell yeah, Fortnite. Because even if you don't like Fortnite, the fucking doing Save the World trophy hunting is actually really involved. This one says 40 minutes because every trophy but one of them auto pops, and you just have to redo the requirement for a single trophy. But the original set of trophies, like when I did the first time, took 2 years. So if that showcases any sort of, um, you know, how long that can take, and that's me playing practically every day. Oh yeah, there's a for anyone wondering, there was a Medan right here. That's when I originally played it the first time. Little Hope was like a year after or whatever, later the same year, something like that. But yeah, fun times. Let's get back to where we were. Yeah, Wolf Among Us. Very excited for Wolf Among Us 2, and I really did enjoy the world a lot with that series. So yeah, yeah, 9. I think nine's a pretty solid score. I'd give it. Um, just a great like kind of it's not the same thing because first of all this is like animated. First it's based on a series of a comic book type series made into a video game where it's all like animated and shit, of course. But a different property that does a somewhat similar thing where it's like, hey, let's do the Brothers Grimm, like whatever type of story is. There's a TV show called Grimm on NBC that I very much enjoyed. Kind of got a little iffy near the end. Felt like it didn't stick the landing as well as it could have, but I didn't, like it wasn't like a terrible ending or anything. Just kind of some parts where it was like there was like a whole season where it's kind of new like organization thing. It was like a whole fucking thing. But so these type of ideas fascinate me for sure, and so that probably shined through a bit with The Wolf Among Us as well. Yeah, I think The Wolf Among Us actually executes it way better than Grimm does, but that's neither here nor there. So I did it to like a 9. San Andreas. Since this is the PS3 version, this is the first time I've platinumed San Andreas, of course. I believe. Actually, I wonder, did I get to San Andreas previously? I can't recall if because I got the game, for some reason they made a PS3 port of it, like way the fuck later. And then they released the like a bunch of PS2 games, like they ported it to PS4. Bully being an example of this. So obviously I did Bully. No, okay, no, so I already did San Andreas. So I'm not going to reiterate. Um, Again, there's no point. So we'll just skip the watch a previous video. I've done 3 parts of it so far. And they're posted on my YouTube channel, GE Gypsy, same name. So I've gone too far now. Damn it. I have fooled myself into scrolling endlessly as I try to look for certain pictures. Uh, okay, The Walking Dead Season 2. I don't know if I did this one yet for PS3. Uh, Arvo is such a shit character, and the characters that surround him, especially at the last chapter, are so fucking dumb and bullshit Like it's just poorly written all throughout, like for the last episode, which makes it not to mention like the big confrontation near the end of the last episode. Uh, I feel like the first at least 3 episodes of season 2 are fucking amazing, stellar, love them. And honestly, I think they're even better than from season 1. To be honest, season 1 has really good moments, but there is a lot of like annoying stuff with like the whole Kenny stuff and Lily at times. Um, of course Ben, but Ben's supposed to be kind of a fuck up. Well, not kind of, but yeah. But season 2, I think, was rearing to be like a better series than even season 1, and they just dropped the ball like the hardest I've seen in quite a while. Like, it's such a shit ending. Some bra cost $15, some cost 45, but you bra, you are priceless. Thank you, Aniki. Welcome to the channel. Uh, thanks for calling me priceless. You know what? Let's do the Keanu Reeves thing. No, you're beautiful, alright? Welcome to the channel. I'm rating games from past times of feels okay, man. Hell yeah. I don't know if you enjoy trophy hunting. Normally, I play games. I'm busy trying to play a game on my own. I'm playing Life is Strange 3 like on my own because I never played 1 or 2 for the channel because I did it way before the Twitch channel existed, and I don't know. I don't want to really. There's certain games I want to play off stream, and so that's kind of different. But I haven't streamed in a while, so I wanted to throw this together, and it's a thing I'd already done several parts of, and so I want to continue it. I should be back with games soon, but that's yeah. So yeah, I should probably give a rating, a score rating. So season 2 of The Walking Dead, it's like I have to give it. I feel like I probably gave The Walking Dead one like either a 9 or an 8.5. I have to give season 2 of like I have to give it a god like a 6.75. I it can't reach 7, but I think a 6.5 is too rough. That ending really, like the last episode in its entirety, really drags the whole experience down. And it sucks because every time, like anytime I've wanted to replay these games, I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm loving this, right? Yeah, some characters are annoying and some this, that, and the other, but like, I feel like it's well written and then it just gets thrown right the fuck out the window. I'm doing Spider-Man 2 now and want to do the like dragons that are coming. Oh yeah, the Yakuza games, like the new ones. Yep. The Man Who Erased His Name and um where we Yakuza 8's supposed to be at Infinite Wealth, I think it's called. Yeah, I definitely want to get to those. Obviously, people of the channel would know that I was playing Yakuza 4 for like the span of a year, pretty much. And so I've taken a break since I platinum. That was my 200th platinum. I think in August, maybe July. I mean, I could scroll up, but I'm kind of lazy and don't want to do that because then I have to find my place again. But basically, like, I'm pretty damn sure August. And so I've taken a bit of a break from Yakuza to like not burn myself out because 5 is supposed to be like the longest game to platinum in the series. Like, not even necessarily the most difficult. Some people say it is, some people don't, but like just the sheer amount of time it takes is the whole thing. Yeah, so I've been kind of itching to get back into Yakuza, so I definitely want to get to 5 soon. So I feel you right there, man, 100%. Because I own 0 through 7. I haven't gotten the Samurai one, the um, what is it, Inchin or whatever, Ichin, and I don't have any of the Judgment games. I'd be willing to try them, but yeah, 100% feel you. Can't wait till. I don't think we're gonna get to the Yakuza games tonight for like rating them, but like I would say that they're rate pretty highly because I try to rate these more so on how I feel like they are for games to play rather than for trophy hunting. Like, not to, I'll obviously mention trophy hunting because it's like a bread and butter thing for me. It's one of the main. It is like a factor that does affect my gameplay in a lot of games. For example, if you look at Puyo Puyo Tetris here, and I might as well rate this the same as Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, which I will scroll up to because I played that semi recently. I just play them for a couple hours and I get my fun out of it that I like, and then I'm done. I like Tetris way more than Puyo Puyo, but Puyo Puyo is okay. The story is like just wacky anime shenanigans of like, I don't know, some earth-ending bullshit or something. They're not games I care about in the slightest, but it's fun for like a quick like afternoon. Put in like 2 or 3 hours and call it a time. And when you're only renting the game, it's worth it. That's why there's only one trophy of them. Especially because if you look at these type of games, like the trophies on these games are always like fucking terrible. They take forever. But to rate both those games, I'd rate them about the same. I'd say like a 6. Like they do what I want them to do. I would never buy the game. I would never finish the game, but it's fun for like the tiny little bit I play it, and that's all it needs to be. Simple as that. See, this is the problem when I scroll up is I completely lose my fucking place. There's no way we made it to Wild Arms, dude. There's not a chance. Did we? We did. Wow. No, fucking goddamn. I have ruined myself by doing this. I am a fool. Oh, these are the port PS4 versions. Oh, so I didn't actually do San Andreas then. I'm a lying little fraud. I haven't gotten to. I'll do it when I get up to those. Then I'll at least get up to those tonight. I promise, or this morning, whatever. Game of Thrones. The thing is with Game of Thrones, like with a lot of these Telltale games, they they get me into series I otherwise wouldn't have checked out really. Like Game of Thrones, I watch Game of Thrones because I played the game and I like the game. Same thing with um the Telltale Avengers, or not Avengers, the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game. I watched those movies because I played the game and I enjoyed the characters and shit, right? Now, am I going to say the original property does the characters better in a lot of these cases? Sure. Obviously, the Back to the Future game and the what would you call it? The Back to the Future game and the Walking Dead game are very obvious exceptions because they're just stellar pieces of game. I would say even The Wolf Among Us as well, but it's hard for me to say that when I haven't actually read the novels or the comics or whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Game of Thrones, the TV show, does it way better than the fucking Telltale game does. Likewise, so does um, so does whatever one I was just talking about momentarily ago. But Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. I thought some of the choices were kind of annoying though with the Game of Thrones one. It feels like you're kind of fucked no matter what you do, and I guess to make a commentary of that, that's kind of true of the show to an extent. Too. Obviously, there's certain plot points where that is definitely true that you're just screwed no matter what. But that's not. I feel like that's not why they were going for that. It's just like I think it's a case of like you can't because the novels and the in the world of the TV show and such are so massive, and there's so many like it's not sequential things from that. You can't focus on a large group within Game of Thrones really because you're not allowed to alter the story too much. With some of the other properties, because you're retelling it completely, it's different. But like with this, like I don't know, like the Walking Dead one's a great example because you can focus on a completely different survivor group, and which doesn't have to have any sort of matching up with Rick's group or like whatever, right? Whereas like how are you going to use like Game of Thrones and like not use like you can't really use too much of like Jon Snow or Tyrion or whatever without it being kind of a major pain in the ass to maneuver around. So I think that really held back Game of Thrones, the Telltale game. But I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'd say 6.5. It was fine. Nothing really to write home about. Playing 7 Days to Die. Yeah, this is fun. Not Oh yeah. Welcome, Bathory. Welcome to Twitch times at 5 in the morning. Yeah. I've never actually played 7 Days to Die. I saw my dad playing a little bit of it, and I don't think he played it too much. I think one of his friends got into it. But is it like a sarcastic not having fun, like just because it's a lot and you're dying and shit, or is it like an actually not having fun? Because usually, like, I mean, you can have fun as long as you're playing with friends with shit. Bull's listening to your broadcast. Well, uh, fuck you, Bolt. That's my commentary on the matter. It's fine. No comment. Anyway, I hope you two have fun in your game playing, and feel free to stick around if you so desire. I'm just rating video games of past, present, and eventually future. Crash Bandicoot. Now you'll notice Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Bandicoot 1 have trophy. Like I did 2 before 1, and that's specifically because they added DLC for Crash 1. If I can open this up, let's see if I don't screw this up doing this. They added like a DLC pack. If this shows on stream, let me double check because I have it zoomed in. Keep getting kicked out of what, like the servers or whatever. Because yeah, that's not good. Yeah, so you can see like they added a DLC pack of like a cut content or a cut level, and so I ended up doing that like a little bit later, and so that would define why I did it at a different time. Yeah, I got kicked out 4 times now. Ah, that sucks. I fucking hate when you're trying to like play a game and that's like the servers just aren't working. It's like the one thing you like I need you, the game developer, the whatever publisher, whatever the fuck it is. The one thing I need you to do more than anything is make the game like actually playable. And some people obviously there's a hyperbolic, oh this game's unplayable because of this, that, or the other, but like not being able to actually play it is literally unplayable. So obviously Vigor has that. Hunt was having that for like a little bit one day that was really pissing me off, but usually not a problem. But yeah, it sucks when games do that. But yeah, I would notice. So Crash 1 and 2, maybe even 3, but definitely Crash 1 and 2. I played as a kid, and so those are one of those things that like I was already pretty familiar with the games. Especially Crash 1 was the one I had the most time put into of the three, and I have a bunch of the PS2 games, but those are that's kind of a neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean I think these are pretty faithful recreations of these games, all three of them, and I mean with some notable exceptions. There's certain things with like the jumping mechanics, and there's like some of the there's like a what do you call it? Like a not really a jungle level, but like a almost kind of temple level where like there's these sticks that light on fire, and the height on those are different than they're supposed to be. But like besides some nitpicky things that were really annoying for trying to do platinum relic runs, I loved all these games. Very happy to have platinum them. In Crash 1 specifically, I did platinum relic runs. You only have to do gold for the trophies, but I went above and beyond, did platinum for all of them. I didn't do that for 2 or 3 because, like, with Crash 1, I could do that throughout the game, and because there was no power up, so I could just do that whenever. Crash 2 and 3, you have to wait until you get the running shoes, and by then, I kind of don't really care to. Like, it was easier to do it as you went along as opposed to, like, just doing all of it, the, like, back ends. I do have some platinum here and there, but, like, for 2 and 3, but not as much. Um, Crash 1, 9.5 out of 10. Crash. Oh, that's another thing. I will say Crash 2 fucking up the ice physics that were in the original Crash 2. Like, the ice physics are worse in the remake, noticeably worse. And so I would have to give that a 7, 9.5. I'd say it's a 9. You know, hmm, hmm, do I want to give Crash 1 a 10? Ooh. Ooh. You know what? Let's do a 9.75 just to be a cheeky asshole about it. Because yeah, there are like very minor issues, but they do matter when you're trying to do time trials. They really do matter. And even if you're not doing trophy runs, those are still content in the game, but they add so much to it, including Ooh, 9.9. We'll do 9.9. I'll give it the most I can give it without giving it 10. There we go, 9.9. Crash 2, uh, yeah, 8.75. Why not? Give or take. You know, the ice is really fucked. It's just bad. It's bad, and there's not just one ice level. There's several. So yeah, fuck that. Um, you'll notice I'll keep scrolling up here real quick just to showcase. I do eventually get Crash Warped, and it says completed in 1 year, 1 day, because they added a new DLC level, like a brand new level. They added it like way the fuck later. You'll notice that this trophy is the 14th of July. A year later, 14th of July. So a fucking year after the game came out. So yeah, that's why it's so far up there. I'll get to that in a moment though. Um, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Did I already go over that one? I feel like I probably did. I do wonder because it's like, is it a case of like I did Kingdom Hearts Birth because I would have played the PS3 version first, but did I platinum it? Because what I'm thinking probably happened is I platinum the PS like I played it on PS3, didn't platinum it, but I did my runs and shit. Then I platinumed it on PS4. Oh no no okay here it is. So yeah, I already talked about it then. So watch a previous video if you want to know my thoughts on that particular game. Um, why is it always like impossible to find where I was? Batman, the Telltale series. It was really cool to play as Bruce Wayne for like a lot of sections. Like that. That's honestly way cooler than playing as Batman. So, and there were some twists on some of the characters that I didn't mind. I think the Alfred thing at the end was kind of lame. Although I think that might be season 2 when that happens. I can't recall to be honest. I really don't remember a lot of season 2, so I think season 2 I'd probably end up ranking lower when we get to it. But like season 1, I thought it's pretty strong. 8 out of 10. Hitman Contracts and Blood Money. You'll notice with these games they're rated pretty low, or I mean, like in terms of like I don't have as many trophies for them, and that's specifically because I ended up buying. I mentioned this previously with Hitman Absolution, so I won't go into like a whole tirade about it. But I liked Absolution so much; it was my first Hitman game. I went and bought a PS3 collection of like 3 Hitman games. It was Hitman 2 at the time, not the current Hitman 2, which is of course really confusing that you have that now. But it was like the second Hitman game in the series, Contracts and Blood Money. And I will say the games did get progressively better from the little bit I played of each of them. Like Contracts was better than 2 by a good amount, and then Blood Money was better than Contracts. But like the games just didn't click for me. I feel like the stealth options were really fucking lame with the games. Like they just weren't refined enough at all. So to me, like, just not really worth my time. I'm sure for people that grew up with them, I know Blood Money is still considered by a lot of people to be the favorite of the entire series. I can definitely tell with the more cinematic approach they take of it. I guess them refining their craft over a series of games, but it just doesn't. I don't have that nostalgia, so it doesn't really do it for me. Especially once we start including the World of Assassination trilogy, so Hitman 2016, 2018, and I think 2021 was the one where Hitman 3 came out. I think those games like are leagues above these games. So that's just especially by the time you get to 3, because 3 then has the DLC of the first and second. So like the one game has like all 3 games worth of games in it. So it's just like clearly like the kingpin. But I don't know. With Hitman 2, I'm pretty sure I give Hitman 2 a 2. Let me see if I can find it actually. Yeah, I probably gave that 2 if I had to guess because I thought it was shit. If that's the case, then I would give Contracts like a 3.5 and Blood Money like a 4.5. They don't really do anything for me, but I do recognize the increase in quality as time went on. Minecraft story mode, I don't give a shit about Minecraft, but I did like the story mode thing. What is the name of the guy that voices the okay. Let's do Minecraft Story mode, voice actor. Yeah, Paul Rubens. Or no, not Paul Rubens. What the fuck? Dude, Pee Wee Herman voices Ivor? Holy shit. That's wild. That's a new thing for me that I didn't know. That's fucking dope as hell, dude. And he's actually one of the funnier characters too. I mean, at first it was kind of annoying, but yeah. Who the hell does Matt? Okay, we gotta look up the cast. I'm sorry, I didn't know if Matt fucking Mercer was in there. Who does who does he voice? Aiden, Otis, School. Okay, so he voices a bunch of like whatever characters. Dude, Billy West plays the fucking narrator. Oh my god, this game was like cracked. Um, that's wild. Anyway, what I meant to say was not Paul Rubens, although it's like a shock. Patton Oswalt. I like Patton Oswalt's voice. I don't know. It was pretty good for the character. The stakes were like, I mean, obviously it's pretty childish of a game, Minecraft story mode, but like I think it's just the right appropriate like level of like, this is like slapstick silly, and then there's like some serious moments, but they're not really like they don't feel less serious. And it told an overall like story throughout like a whole thing, which was cool. Of course, with both these games, I played like all the stuff with it. Oh, and the that would have showed it in the previous thing, but the girl that plays Petra is actually the voice of Ellie from The Last of Us, the game. Obviously, not the TV show, but that was cool too. But yeah, I like the Minecraft. Like a decent chunk of my Minecraft knowledge just comes from this series because there's a season 2 of this as well. But yeah, I don't know. Like it was funny in parts, and emotionally appropriate for others, that where it wasn't like too serious, but still kind of serious. Like yeah, no spoilers, of course, but yeah, I liked it. And decent amount of variety in certain scenarios, like different like weapons and stuff. And definitely had like hateable villains. It was nice. Fan of that. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. I've already rated that, but yeah, I mean that's an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I don't care. I don't care if there's like I can see arguments for like, oh, there might be like a flaw here, potentially, or a flaw there, but yeah, fuck you. Favorite series, don't care. 10 out of 10. Mega Man Legacy Collection. Um, it's cool that they add like, so it's like the first 6 games of the NES Mega Man games, and those games are pretty bullshit. But like it's just repackaging those games, right? And they have like a rewind feature and stuff, and so that's cool. Yeah, so it just really depends. Do you like Mega Man? For me, like I don't really care that much about Mega Man. That's why I only have 19% of the trophies. I think all I did was play Mega Man 1 and 2, and like that was it. I did like a couple of challenges, and that was also it. It really did like nothing for me long term, which is why I never went to play it through Mega Man like 3, 4, 5, or 6. I heard the series kind of got stale after 2 anyway, for the most part. At least in terms of like the NES games. Of course, if we're talking Mega Man X, I've heard those games are like pretty stellar. But yeah. That said, we move on to. Oh yeah, I guess I should rate it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a do you like Mega Man or not? For me, I mean, it's a 5. It pretty just middle of the road. It does what it does. I like the music in the games. Some interesting things. I feel like it's too bullshit for its own good because it's like an NES game sort of shit. But yeah, there it is. Tales from the Borderlands. This is one of the. So first of all, it's obviously a 0 out of 5. Even though I was ranking these out of 10, but it's a 0 clearly because it has a PS3/PS4 next to it, which means I'm obviously joking about the score, but like when it has those two next to it, it means that like if you got it on PS3, it also counts for PS4. Like they didn't have separate trophy lists. Most games did, but like some games like this didn't, and I don't know why. And it's as a trophy hunter, this disappoints me. Um, but I like Tales from the Borderlands. It was another one of those things where it's like I didn't really care about the source material. I didn't dislike it, but I only played a little bit of Borderlands 1, and then I got distracted by some other game. I think Fallout maybe, and then I just never went back to Borderlands. Not from a dislike. I just like I only played maybe like 15 minutes of it. But yeah, this made me interested about some of the world, like this handsome Jack guy and stuff, who obviously plays a decent part in the story. Um, but yeah, I thought it was cool. I like the characters, and of course, Patrick Warburton playing the Dick CEO was cool. Um, and the fact that like the different people you could have at the end to help you fight with, there was a lot of variety with that, which was cool, and like differences in the fight somewhat based on who you brought with you. Like it was dope as shit. Like I like that a lot. Um, okay, regular Minecraft. Don't care. I rented it. Like you'll notice it later up here too. Both times I rented them like one day each. Played like in maybe like 30 minutes, an hour of each. Just like looking up a guide on like how to unlock a bunch of these easy trophies. So I just popped 29 trophies here and 18 trophies here. The reason the trophies are different is because like the different versions. So like the starting world that you spawn in on is like different, and so that makes a little bit of difference there. But yeah, it's just a trophy farm. That was it. Nothing else. I have no interest in Minecraft. I respect what it does, but I'm not really like the builder type. Like, oh, the sandbox, just do whatever the fuck you want type. It's one thing with like GTA where it's like I still have like structure to go do shit. But like when you have to entirely create like every single like goal or whatever you're doing, and I do understand Minecraft has a dragon you can slay. Like that's like the main goal, but like really, let's be honest, Minecraft doesn't really have a goal. Um, but yeah, it's just it's a very cool game for people that enjoy like being given the tools to create their own experience. I am not one of those people for games, so this game just does not really appeal to me at all. I don't mind the art style. I know some people will be turned off by the art style. I'm fine with that. It's cool. Like the music. So yeah, I mean, really, I played it more on like PC Sense, so like I do have a sense of like how the game does generally work enough to where I can like rate it like a 4 out of 10, but like with the caveat that I know that's not due to its quality. That's just simply because it does nothing for me. So the quality is actually what brings it up from like what would otherwise be like a 2. So Minecraft fans, of course, crying everywhere. I'm sure. No, I'm sure it's fine. Let me. I'm just gonna scroll down, double check here. It should be Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 was already done on PS3, so I've already no need to rehash that out at all. Battlefield 1. With the Battlefield games, it's important to note that I have never played I can't get into Minecraft. Yeah, I feel you, Battery. It just doesn't do it for me. Like I've had fun in Minecraft, but like it's always because I've been just doing some dumb shit with friends. But honestly, doing dumb shit with friends, you could do that in like even a terrible game, and you would still have fun. And Minecraft is not a terrible game at all. I would say it's even a good game. It's just not one that speaks to me. So I don't think having fun with friends makes it um up the value of it, because I had fun despite the games, how it runs, how it acts, how it functions, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Battlefield 1. I don't play Battlefield online games. I never did. I've only played Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. I don't think I played 5. Yeah, I played the story of 1. I really liked it. It was cool. World War 1 shit, pretty dope. Just on that experience, I'd say like an 8.5. I think it did pretty well. It was nice to see like different stories that happened from World War 1, even if some of them are embellished, of course, because it's a war game, so go figure. But I gotta mute this conversation on my Discord because it just keeps popping up everywhere. Alright, anyway. There we are. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, yeah, Bathory, you might notice that my character that I'm speaking through is in fact an Otzel, a Daxter inspired creature with various expressions of anger and happiness and sadness and generally being bored at life and things, and also being a smug little prick, which is truly the most Baxter thing in the world. So that's fun. And actually, you know what? Let me load in the other PNG tuber model from friend of the stream, Jess West the Best, who is also a Daxter type thing, but it's like morphed with Neko Arc, a weird anime thing. This is a little off stream. Let me fucking. Oh, is that not going to work the way I want it to? I don't think it is. I'll quickly go on the black screen because I do have it set up on here. I just don't have it set up on the other things. Let's try this. All right, cool. So this is like shape more. So then it's like same sort of thing. There's like the happy and the kind of like whimsical looking on the side, like mischievous, and the super angry. The tired one, of course. This one's kind of like an angry, like hey fuck you, like not like pissed angry, but like I don't know, just like a and yeah, like pretty much like I'm gonna stab you, and then this is the one where I have the knife out and like I'm in the process of stabbing it. So that's fun. Let me turn it back on. They're spaced differently, so that's why I gotta like do it differently when I do these. So that's something I'm gonna have to do for next time I try to do a stream like this. Is I'm gonna have to copy and paste that thing over so that it properly is spaced out. Because yeah, these are different dimensions. The first PNG tuber, which is the one I'm using right now, and then the other one. So let's do that. Back at it. Uh, yeah. So I rated Battlefield 1. So here's where we get to rate the GTA games. The first 3 GTA games. 3 Vice City San Andreas. 3 sucks. I'm gonna be real with you, and this is not like I grew like that was one of my first PS2 games. One of the first PS2 games that we had. Like I don't think it was the number one first game, but it was like damn near close. And I remember playing it like forever as a kid. You know, along with Jak and Daxter, along with Bully, along with Kingdom Hearts. I if I even look at my wall of games here, like the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games, Budokai Tenkaichi games, Jackass the game, like American Chopper, the first one, Monster Jam, some Namco games, some Naruto games like Ultimate Ninja, Simpsons Hit and Run. You know, like whatever. There's a bunch of games, right? I could list, and I think I will rate those eventually. Some of them have been rated here just because they were re-released, like GTA 3. But yeah, so like it's not like a. I was there when GTA 3 came out, like you know what I mean, playing the game, and like oh wow, this is amazing. I understand like the leap forward this provided to like the industry of gaming for many different avenues. But the game just controls like shit. Like there's no getting around it. The story's good, like fine. It's kind of weird the character doesn't talk, but yeah, whatever. Right, the story's cool. Funny. But yeah, I mean, like the shooting is fucking terrible. The driving's terrible. The fucking, it's like in some of the things like the ambulance missions are fucking impossible to do without cheating. Like with the better driver, or unless you're getting like the luckiest you've ever been in your fucking life, because your ambulance will just flip over on side. You'll take it like unless you like slow your ass down and you take that corner as slow as you can, which you can't do because it's the ambulance missions. Like you're just not gonna be able to do it. And there's a lot of driving like that that's really annoying in the early GTA games, including Vice City and to a lesser extent San Andreas, where like your shit just like fucking flips over at the like drop of a hat. It's so goddamn annoying. um, yeah, I don't, especially because like I've played through or I've tried to play through GTA 3 without doing cheats. I think I might have done it once. Luckily for this game, you were allowed to use cheats and still do. There was like a couple cheats you weren't allowed to use, but for the most part, you were allowed to use like like spawning in money and fucking weapons and shit. Same thing with Vice City. Vice City had a really dumb and annoying trophy. Um, see if I can pop it up. I guarantee you it's the hardest trophy anyone earned. Where is it? Probably at the bottom. Oh, yeah, it's this one. Take the cannoli. Is reading this is yeah. See, this is easily the most time-consuming trophy of the game. I don't know if how much of the OBS is like showing this. Okay, it's actually showing most of it. But yeah, you can see right there. It says your criminal rating is based upon a few different factors. Those include the following: so 1, 2, 3, and 4. The amount of money you're currently holding, which that's fine. That's whatever. Number of people you have killed, that's fine. The number of vehicles that you have destroyed, that's fine. Your weapon accuracy. Now here's the bullshit thing about the weapon accuracy. It counts weapon accuracy even if other NPCs are shooting at each other. So a cop having a firefight with a fucking gang member tanks weapon accuracy so hard. So the way to do this trophy is to, they mentioned down there, like let me scroll down here. Sorry, I'm trying to click on like two different screens on this, because one has like my, like it has Twitch and OBS and shit, and the other one has this page right here that I'm moving right now. Because I need to have, like, I have it on different things so it doesn't get picked up, so that every time I check my, Twitch page, it doesn't, like, go into itself 20 million times. But yeah. The idea is the easiest way I feel like is this. If you start a new game, don't fire any weapons. And then you go and you steal you steal a helicopter, pretty much like you jump onto, like, the docks, if you're able to. Yeah, see the back of the ambulance. That's where it is. Sorry, I was trying to like quickly read through it. So there's like a whole dock section where you can get to a boat, and getting to the boat allows you to get to a helicopter that's on like the island in the middle of the map. And so you need to get that helicopter. You're not supposed to get there otherwise, but if you grab an ambulance, you can like back it up to the gate and then jump over the ambulance to get over the gate. So it's like a whole thing, and then you got to sit there and like grab the Sea Sparrow, right? And then you just shoot it. You rubber band your fucking controller to shoot at a vehicle, because even once a vehicle has blown up, it still counts for like accuracy, right? And so your accuracy is just going through the roof, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, like I had to leave it rubber band for me for like 8 hours overnight, because like there was a couple things that kind of fucked up with it. Other people shooting initially, which you can't really control that much without just resetting the game all the time. But that's the trophy hunting experience, which does matter, but it's not going to filter that much into the discussion. How's Vice City? Vice City still is a little rough on the driving, but is better. It's better in every way to GTA 3. The only reason I feel like someone wouldn't like as much is like maybe if you like the more, what do you call it? If you liked Liberty City, New York more than you liked Miami, yeah, Vice City, then I guess that could be a reason. If you didn't really care about the '80s aesthetic, although I think it's cool as shit, the '80s aesthetic. It's just like a fucking, Scarface references out the ass. And other like, Miami Vice and shit like that. So that's cool. Some people consider it one of the best, like the best game in the series. And to be honest, like, although I think San Andreas is better than Vice City is pretty fucking good. But yeah, I mean, San Andreas is just better throughout all of it. Like driving's better, shooting's better, and the flying's better. So yeah, there's that. So if GTA 3 was like what did I give it, like a 4? Did I rate GTA 3? I don't think I did. Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 4. It did a lot of cool things, but like it sucks. It sucks in pretty much every aspect that matters, which is gameplay. Other games in the series do it way better. Like at the time, it's like, oh, this is cool. But now that there's plenty of other options that do this way better in every sort of sense of the word, like even from this era that did it better, like just slightly later on, you're better off going Vice City or San Andreas. Even San Andreas would probably get more bang for your buck type shit on that. Vice City, I'd say, I don't know. I'd say an 8. There's still the same annoyances, like certain things like aiming at shit, but yeah, it's whatever. San Andreas was weird because um, you weren't allowed to use any cheats. So like you had to do everything legit, but it was like the first game that felt like you could do it legit. You can obviously do the other games legit, but I gotta say like 3 in particular has a couple of like really fucking annoying missions that like it's just like come on now. Constant ambush bullshit that's hard to do. Same thing with Vice City to an extent as well. It's way easier in San Andreas. It's designed better. There's so much in the game, 3 whole different like islands, and yeah, I mean a lot of it's like random fucking shit in the woods and whatever, but who cares? It's pretty well done. There's a lot of side content. There's cool shit with like it helped to introduce like a lot of stuff like the food stuff you could do, and more so than Vice City is what I mean. Like different shit with like the biking and the underwater shit and the jetpack and the fucking real like the story was way cooler. Even though I like Tommy Vercetti more than I like CJ, the story was like way more involved and cool and fucking Samuel L. Jackson shit like that. It's just I don't know, it's dope as shit. But taking over gang territory is pretty dope. The only thing that kind of blew ass on San Andreas was the girlfriend mechanic because they don't leave you the fuck alone. You have to keep their shit up high enough to get certain boosts. So that was like dumb and annoying, but other than that, it's pretty good. I feel like there should be a way to max their stuff, and then you're allowed to ignore them, and it just like stays maxed. Which obviously isn't realistic, but like from a gameplay perspective, it's more fun. That's the reason why I didn't like GTA 4, for example, because it's just like like Roman and his fucking bowling is just annoying as shit. Like, no, I don't want to go bowling. Leave me alone. Anyway, Undertale. It's San Andreas. Okay, what would I rate it? Like, a 9 out of 10. There's some annoyances, but it's hard to deny it's a fucking great game. Like, it really is. I love so much about it. So yeah, we'll go with 9 out of 10. The girlfriend stuff does, like, matter. But other than that, it's whatever. Hopefully that didn't make too much noise when I accidentally hit the microphone there. But if it did, it's too late to fix it now. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, Undertale. Um, God damn it. What can I say about Undertale that hasn't? I mean, I know some of these things. Obviously, it's like, what can you say about X that hasn't been said 25 million times? But like, Undertale's cool. The characters are fun and quirky, and I don't know, a lot of characters funny too, so that's cool. I like they're inventive in the different designs and shit, which is nice. I like that. Um, yeah, the different paths of the story are cool. I like the idea of the focus of like, oh hey, you don't actually have to kill these things if you don't want to. Um, it does suck. So this is more the Steam version of the game. I gotta say. Wait, what do you mean Captain Raincoat invited you to play 7 Days to Die? Fucking damn it, Bull! I don't play 7 Days to Die. Leave me alone. Not even in the party with you. How dare you? Oh, that's probably because I told him to go fuck himself. That's fair. I'll allow it this one time. You get one, right? That's like the Spider-Man thing of everyone gets one. So yeah, there's that. Where was I up? Yeah, Undertale. Yeah, I love it. I don't know. 9.5 out of 10. Genocide route sucks for the most part in the sense that like it's just kind of tedious to kill everything. I understand that's like the point, but like still, it's just like doesn't really make for fun gameplay. You obviously put story stuff in Genocide, so you expect people to do it. Trophy hunting, some of the shit's kind of annoying too. Like, it's made annoying on purpose, which is funny, but it's also just annoying. It's like mostly trophies are fine, except for like this shit at the end, which is just like donating gold to a dog shrine, and it's not cumulative. It's like you have to do it every time. So you donate 2, and then you donate 6, and then you donate 12. It's like it's just like a whole fucking thing. It's not hard to do. It's just like you have to sit there and grind Thunder Snail forever, which is great. Yeehaw, I suppose. But yeah, the game's cool. Love story. Obviously with the background, like lore of the characters, is pretty heartbreaking. With some of them, of course, and just the general like monster, like stuck on the ground bullshit. Yada yada. But yeah, I think a 9.5 is good. Definitely one of my, and I like it too. I gotta say, because I played the game like after the hype for it died down, not for any particular reason, just because I didn't get to it. Obviously, it wasn't on PlayStation originally; it was on Steam. But I got it on like a sale that was when it was like $5, and I loved it. I actually own the collector's edition, the physical collector's edition for the PS4 version. You'll notice too, it says PS4 Vita, so some games have it where the trophies are shared between Vita and PS4 as well. I mentioned that earlier with the PS3, PS4 one still sucks, but it's whatever. One thing, and this isn't like related to my score of the game, but one thing I do hate is that the community around the game is like fucking terrible sometimes. Like at least for people that are playing the game, whether they're YouTubers or streamers of any platform, like people get so fucking uppity if you try to do like a genocide run or something, or if you're just like not doing things exactly the way it's supposed to, like whatever. People get real fucking bitchy, like real backseaty with shit. Now, luckily, I played the game before I streamed, so I didn't have to worry about that. But it does suck sometimes watching other people stream the game. Like I had someone who, we'll just say used to be a friend, play the game and he enjoyed it. But yeah, there's people that just like, even in his chat, they were just like, he's not a big streamer at all. He's actually like incredibly small, or was at the time. And it's just like, dude, like shut the fuck up. Like let the guy play the game. Like it's mostly a story driven game. Like let him play it. Yeah, if someone wants help, they'll ask for it. Um, so yeah, fuck that, but that doesn't count for any of the score. You'll notice here now we're on. I've already rated South Park: Stick of Truth. The Fractured But Whole. The reason I already rated South Park: Stick of Truth is because there's a PS3 version I platinumed previously, and this was like PS4 version that came with it, or that came out afterwards. But the Fractured But Whole, the continuation of that, I still have not played the DLC for this game, even though I think I own the DLC. I just never got around to playing it. But for the main game, and as you can tell, I have a platinum and 100% of the trophies. I very much enjoyed it. The grid style of the gameplay took a while to get used to. It's obviously very different from Stick of Truth, but I did like it, and I do like the oh hey now it's superheroes instead of Lord of the Rings shit. It's a nice change of pace, and it does make sense with the way that oh hey these kids are playing, and then it also gives a reason that your shit's reset because it's like oh now we're playing a new game. Everyone kind of starts off back at like a zero or whatever, right? It did kind of feel a little like disappointing to lose the cheap ass thing I used to do on Stick of Truth, which was just like add a stack of like 5 bleeding to an enemy. Because there was like an ability I could do where like a one attack would add 2 stack of bleeding, and then you could do that like 3 times to get to 5 because it maxes out at 5. But yeah, which would like kill most enemies immediately, which is pretty dope. One thing Fractured Behold did though that did it way better than Stick of Truth is the end game for like farming stuff is better. It doesn't take like for some reason for Stick of Truth the spawn rate of enemies is a lot lower after the end of the game. I guess you can say because some of the forces that were enemies disappear, but like it's just annoying when you're trying to farm to get the last like items on the map. And I don't recall. I don't think Fractured Butthole has collectibles that are missable. Maybe it does. Not to if it does, not to the same extent as Stick of Truth though. So there's that. Uh, so I don't recall what I gave Stick of Truth. I don't want to like guess because I'm probably gonna like change it slightly, and I don't want to keep fucking with that. But if I like Stick of Truth more overall, but Fracture But Whole is cool, and I think it does some things better. So I mean, I'd give it like a 9. I want to say like a 9, like a solid 9, maybe an 8.5 somewhere in there. Pinball Arcade. I mean, do you like pinball? That's pretty much. Do you like pinball machines? I bought the main thing, which was just like the first, like, what was it? First set of 6 DLC, I think it is. The first season. That's what it is. It's like the first season DLC, so it's just a bunch of different pinball. You know, they're not boards. What the hell would you call them? Like pinball machines, I guess. And to be honest, they're faithfully recreated, and they are kind of bullshit. But pinball machines are just bullshit in general. So like, it's fine. Do you like pinball? If so, you'll like this game. But what does that mean for rating it? Why, I'm glad you asked, a random person in my head. That's of course. I mean, it's a 7. I mean, it's just pinball. It's not like life changing. It's not like fucking amazing, but it's fun. It's fun to do every now and again. Haven't touched it in a while. It's also really a huge ass bitch to fucking platinum. Well, there is no platinum, but like, you'll notice here it says 0.00%. That's how like difficult it is for people to 100% this. That practically no one's fucking done it. And if I open this up in a separate tab, you'll notice here like, okay, yeah, I could get this. Even this was kind of difficult, but it's like 32%. Trophy Hunter's 1.22% to like do all the goals in the game. And as you look down lower and lower, it's like even harder for things. Even less so for some of this stuff, which is like a lot of people just don't even own these things. Yeah, completing like standard goals, all 5 of those, is hard enough as it is. I don't know if I've ever done that with any of them. Okay, apparently I did it for Attack from Mars, so that's cool. I did it on Big Shot as well. I guess I did do it on a few of these. Elvira and the Party Monsters, No Good Golfers, the Taxi one, Harley Davidson, Gorgar, fucking Gorgar. Gorgar. Stupid shit. Circus Voltaire, Medieval Madness, The Machine, Bride of Pinbot. I tried so hard to do Arabian Nights. I can't tell you how much. Like that's definitely the table I put the most time in is on Arabian Nights. And I still just could not do the last fucking standard goal. It's such a pain in the ass. But yeah, I've never done like maybe one wizard goal at most. Giant, just it's difficult. It's really difficult. Um, did I go back and do Arkham Asylum and Arkham City? Let me double check that. I believe I did. Yeah, here's Arkham City. Where the hell is Arkham Asylum? There it is. Yeah. Okay. How far have I rated things today? Let's find out. Starting here, we got, let's just say, that's one whole screen. That's 2 whole screens. We'll just say that. Essentially 3 screens worth of rating stuff. That's cool. I still feel like I'm going to keep going, though, for a little bit because I haven't reached a point that I feel like I need to stop at. Um, let's see, where do I want to end at, I guess, is a good question. Hmm. What if we get up to Crash Warped? Because I already did the other Crash game, so maybe doing Crash, like going all the way up to Crash Warped would be a good place to stop it at. But yeah, let's go through this. The Order 1886. It was the walking stuff was stupid. There was like a stealth section that you couldn't actually do a stealth. You could only do like a couple like kills of stealth, and then like you were forced out of it. Which, as a person that really enjoys stealth games, at least the several of the ones I've played, like Hitman and Dishonored and shit like that, where like stealth is a like even if you want to count stuff like Fallout or Skyrim or whatever, where stealth is allowed as a gameplay style for like the vast majority of the game. It was disappointing for the Order that even in the one section where stealth was seemingly prioritized, it just immediately broke within like a couple minutes. So, but yeah, I mean the steampunk shit with it was cool. The story that they were trying to do with it was interesting, I'll say. But the game sequel baits pretty hard. And I mean, yeah, the graphics look good, but it's just mostly hallways. The game, tries to hide it, but yeah, I mean, it's just mostly just like your standard ass hallways, and then the fact that they force you to like walk everywhere, especially when you're like trying to trophy hunt and grab shit like collectibles. Even if you don't want to count it from a trophy hunting perspective, just counting it from like collecting lore of the game perspective, it's just annoying. But yeah, I mean, the game was overhyped as a motherfucker. It's really not that good. It's whatever. Like it's not like terrible or anything. It's just like there's nothing like crazy about it. Like 6 out of 10. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, both fantastic games. Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I still need to play Assassin's Creed. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I assume there's like heavy stealth options in those games, and they do sound like something I'd be interested in for sure. But wall games, it's hard to get through certain things, yada yada. But they've definitely been on my radar, just not like I have two backlogs, I would say. I have the backlog. Well, we'll say three backlogs actually. The backlog of games I'm like actually actively gonna play, like for sure. This includes stuff like Yakuza 5, Pac-Man World Repacked, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cowabunga Collection, SpongeBob Cosmic Shake, um, fucking what else? What else is like immediately on the radar here for like the game? Obviously, Life is Strange 3, which I'm in the middle of playing at the moment. Um, what else? Oh, The Devil in Me, of course, from the Dark Pictures anthology. That one's like immediately on the. I don't think I'm gonna. I'm probably gonna try to get that game for Christmas. There's a couple of games I definitely want to try to get for Christmas. That game, Spider-Man 2. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is another one. That one's absolutely on the fucking radar to play. But yeah, there's that type of backlog, and then there's a backlog of other games I do actively own, but just like when am I ever gonna get to them? I have no fucking idea. So The Witcher, I mean, it's a huge game, so kind of no shit, right? Far Cry 3, because I heard it's pretty good and I do own it. Shit like I mean I could list more, but like Red Dead 2, for example. Detroit Become Human, like games I do own and I want to play, but like it's just a pain in the ass to get to it. You haven't played Assassin's Creed? No, I haven't played any of them. Although I do hear a lot that like Assassin's Creed 2 is like one of the ones that like everyone's like, oh my fucking god about, and it's definitely piqued my curiosity enough. I don't really care about like even though I've heard it's good, like nothing about pirate ship Black Flag shit really appeals to me. Like I don't really care to do pirate battles. That's not my deal. Even if the story's cool, like I mean, if I did enjoy the series enough and I was playing through some of it, I would eventually get the Black Flag and play it. But there's something like immediately that I'm like, oh my god, about. Anyway, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. Which one you like more than likely depends on whether you like the more like tight area, claustrophobic, maybe even you could say, of Arkham Asylum, or whether you like the more like open world section, like stuff as in regards to like Arkham City. Do you like the city? Like, do you like an entire city's worth of shit, or do you like it more contained within an asylum on a single island? So it just, it depends. Personally, I like city more. But yeah, I mean, the Riddler stuff is kind of annoying in both these games to an extent. Like it's kind of excessive near the end of it. It really is. But there's so much cool shit with it. The story is amazing in both these games. The fighting is great. Stealth in these games is fucking fantastic. This is like one of the games that really like helped solidify my love of stealth. I would say for sure. Um, yeah, so that, and then like obviously the graphics I think look pretty good. The games, the writing is great. I think for the vast majority of these, don't really have any major complaints on either game. Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's like besides the Riddler trophies. But even then, like like it. I mean, yeah, it counts, I guess. Yeah, I would say both games are like I don't know, 9 out of 10. I guess maybe Arkham City would be as high as 9.5. I'll give Arkham City 9.5 out of 10 because not only do I enjoy it more, but then there's the Catwoman sections that are like add more to the story. That's cool, and the gameplay's different and shit. So yeah, if it wasn't for the Riddler trophies, honestly, Arkham City would be 10 out of 10. even if they cut the Riddler shit in like half, maybe it would be 10 out of 10. But it's just like it's just too much. Also, the ending in City is like way better than Arkham Asylum. The whole Titan shit with Arkham Asylum's kind of outstays its welcome a bit. So yeah, I think saying like a 9 for Asylum and 9.5 for City is like pretty on point. Also, the DLC for like the ending of City is cool too, like the what happens afterwards type shit. Life is Strange Before the Storm. I think the writing in this game is better than it was in the other ones. Like, yeah, okay, it's still a cringy teen like doing shit, but like, I mean, yeah, the teens are cringy, so like, no shit. But it doesn't feel like on this game, it doesn't feel as much like a fucking 30-plus-year-old man trying to write for like a 15-year-old girl or 16 or 17, 18, whatever fucking age they are. Because obviously, Life is Strange Before the Storm takes place before the first Life is Strange. Yeah, I liked Before the Storm more. I like seeing more of Frank and more of Chloe. I think the relationship. It's nice to see more of the relationship with Rachel as well, even though like I feel like it didn't really do as much. And seeing Nathan when he's not just a completely unlikable douchebag is nice, even though it doesn't last long at all. But it is what it is. I already rated Jack 2, although I do like the game. I don't like as much as Jack 1. But I do like 2 more than 3, even though 3 has better mechanics overall. But yeah, whatever. Homefront. Actually, let's just do Call of Duty World War II. I don't feel comfortable rating this game at all for the fact that I only played the zombies like one day, one time with a friend for like a few hours, and my internet was like buggy as fuck back then. I had really shit internet, so like it would lag slightly. So like say I run away from like a group of zombies that are about to close in on me, it would like lag me back to that group of zombies just a little bit, enough to get you trapped. It is weird though that you're able to technically win a zombies match, like by doing all these tasks. I did that one where it's like I had to start up like like we had to start up a generator and some other fucking crazy ass shit. I didn't mind the new mechanics, like oh hey, if you can buy your loadout back, this that and the other. There's cool things they added to the zombies, but like I didn't get enough of a taste of it to really make a judgment call either way. Although I do very much enjoy the zombies of Black Ops 1 and 2. Never played 3, never played 4. The one map I played of World War II seemed alright. Yeah, so I'm not gonna rate that one. Um, Homefront: The Revolution. Fucking hell. So I played the original Homefront and I liked it. I think there's like an opening cutscene. I believe I played this last time as well when I was talking about it. That like I think is really good. And there's some parts in it that are alright, but it's weird in both games, but it's especially weirder in Homefront: The Revolution where your character doesn't talk at all, which makes like especially there's like a beginning cutscene that very minor spoiler you get like captured with something very momentarily, and your character could like clear up the confusion by having any sort of dialogue, but they don't because they don't have the character voiced, and it just is really fucking weird. It's just odd. I don't know why. Don't know why they went with that. Like what you couldn't pay someone to do just a couple of voice lines, or write. More importantly, you're the guys that like make the game. Just write the scene differently so it doesn't. Like all you could say is like have the person be like I don't know, have duct tape on their mouth or something to where like they can't speak. But that little bit aside. Also, I should say when the game first came out for Home Front: The Revolution, it was a fucking buggy mess. Every single autosave, and I mean every single one. That's not like hyperbole or anything. That's literally every single time the game autosaved. You would have to wait 10 seconds, like give or take. I think it was like either like 9, 10, or 11 seconds is one of those like that group. Again, not like hyperbole at all. Every single time an autosave happens, you would have to wait that amount of time for it to properly save before the world can continue. And there's a bunch of other bugs too. Like one of the trophies was clearing out a base without getting discovered, but like you literally couldn't do that trophy because like even after killing everyone, it would just immediately spawn someone in as soon as you destroyed the base, or as soon as you tried to destroy the base, which would ruin it. And some other shit that was bugged with like side story stuff. Not to mention, there's like a part in the game with no spoilers where like a character dies, and then you can like go back to an area of the game where the character was, and the character model is like still there because they didn't think to take the character model out of the area once they like die in the game. So the game was a rush job. It was put in development hell, but like when it finally got to the point of like coming out, like like they just weren't given the adequate like resources and time and shit to properly do it. But they did eventually fix it with a bunch of updates over the span of like that year or whatever, and it did become a much better, enjoyable experience. One thing I will say with the game is like there's a whole the very first time you enter an area, there's a bunch of shit to do, like side stuff to help take over the area because you're fighting back North Korean regime taking over America. And I do like the story a lot, and I like some of the characters. Um, you could like unlock this. What would you call it? Like this tower thing that would give you waypoints on like a mini map, so that you could find these places to do them pretty easily. I felt like the game was a lot more boring when you did it that way. I liked it more like when you're not like if you leave the towers for last, you can literally like discover things on your own. Like you're still able to interact with everything and do that. It's just you don't see them on the minimap, and that to me felt like a lot cooler because you're sneaking through enemy territory and doing this, that, and the other. It was just cooler to me because I did end up playing it like later on, doing it the way the game wanted me to do it, and I just felt like it was a lot more boring. So, that all said, I also played the DLC eventually, like way later. You can tell, like completed in a year, like a year later after playing it. The DLC was on sale, um, enough to where I could buy it, and those are a lot better. There's a lot of cool, like there's voice acting for some of them for one, and like the story stuff is more like focused. It's more linear, unfortunately, as a result of that, but it adds more nice like epilogue shit to the game as and does expand upon like what would happen because the end of the game was very like big and bombastic and serious and shit, and so there would have to be like you can't continue past that and not focus on like the big impending things that this would mean to the world at large. So yeah, they did, and that's cool. In terms of Homefront as it is now, oh yeah, and the online was like pretty fucking worthless. I gotta say, because yeah, there is an online portion of it. Still active, by the way. I helped someone trophy hunt that recently because there's like one online trophy. Or actually, I think there's technically two online trophies, but yeah. Actually, technically there's three, but you're able to get two of them at once if there's like an exploit. Like the game's bugged, but it's bugged in a way that actually helps the player if they choose. There's like four classes, and if you have to max out all four classes, which means you're only allowed to max out one on each character, and so you have to do four characters. But if you choose a particular class, you're just able to max the one, and it counts for all four for some reason. Because really, there's no reason to max four characters. It's fucking completely worthless. So, but of course, trophy hunting is not the game proper. How I feel about the game overall, I like the weapon differences, and I like that you can change the different like scopes and magazine sizes and shit like that, suppressors, yada yada yada. And yeah, I like the story, the characters, the setting. Really did feel like you were like to an extent liberating areas as you went on. Definitely could feel the stakes of the game as you were doing it. So, in terms of like once everything's said and done, once it's all like updated to actually be a playable game and shit, I would honestly rate it in 8 out of 10. I did very much enjoy it. The original version, like 4 out of 10, when it was as broken as it was. But yeah, 8 out of 10 seems fine for me. Okay, so Limbo and Inside. It's important to note that the same developer makes both of these, and they're similar types of games. They're like, and I don't know if you'd really call them horror games. They are kind of to an extent, but It's like games where you continue. You pretty much you're walking through this world to get to the end of the game, and there's obstacles along the way. Um, God, there's like a certain type of game it is. It's hard to explain, but yeah, they're really cool. I like it. There's a lot of like figuring out puzzles to like get to areas at certain times. So like maybe like say in one of the games is like a saw blade that there's really not much to spoil in terms of stories of these games. So like there's one sequence where there's like a saw blade and you have to stack two boxes on top of each other, but not completely on top of each other because you need to be able to climb on the one and then climb to be able to climb on the other, and then jump over. Which I think I might be mixing them together, but yeah, there's like a where you jump over a saw blade just in time, and like ones where you have to stack boxes a certain way to be able to climb on them and get to safety. You're like an area where your walking gets messed up and you have to go backwards. And so there's ways to like maneuver it so that it goes back again because you don't have control of like turning left or right, and like gravity puzzles and shit like that. It's very puzzle based games on those, but with like a horror aesthetic to it, and it's very cool on both of these. I rate them both pretty highly. I liked Limbo a little bit more than Inside. Limbo's completely black and white, and I don't know, just the aesthetic looked better. I felt like kind of Hero's Journey shit with it too was a little bit better. But Inside was really cool too. Don't get me wrong, absolutely had its own really cool story. I wouldn't pick up these games for like like expensive price, but if you like, to me, Limbo is like an Insider about like $5 games each, personally. But with that in mind, I mean, honestly, like I'd say 8 out of 10 for both of them. I got a lot of fun out of it. There's a trophy on Limbo that fucking was doing my head in, where you have to complete the game in one sitting with 5 or less deaths. It's such a fucking pain in the ass. It's so annoying. Like it takes like an hour to beat the game, and so like every time you fuck up, you have to go start from the beginning. Little Nightmares has a similar thing too, except you're not allowed to die at all. Um, okay, just going back to where I was initially. But yeah, so besides that, like trying to beat the game without pretty much without dying, sort of thing, which was annoying. Yeah, like otherwise it was fine experience. Let me scroll all the way down anyway to get all this to load. There we go. Okay, so we're almost done here. I'm just gonna do a couple more and then I'll be done with it. Like I said, I want to get up to Crash 3, so like we're gonna keep going just a little bit more. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series. I felt like I was given like more choice with this game than I am with a lot of Telltale games. Um, like who you choose for a certain important decision at the end of the game, which it's the end of the game, so it's kind of like whatever, right? But like you can only choose like one set of thing, and the other sets of things will not be chosen. And so it's like, oh, then okay, that's like actually a thing. And there's one part where you can like choose to get rid of something or choose to keep something, and that actually has like a pretty big difference on the story. It seems like. I'm trying to be vague as possible. But yeah, I like the game. And I like that you're building a relationship with these characters, and like some of them are friendlier with others, than others, which makes sense because even with the Guardians of the Galaxy, like the movies and shit, like some of them are like cooler with themselves than others. Like the obviously like Groot and Rocket are like fucking homies for life, versus like like oh Drax and Rocket getting in with each other, or like Peter and Nebula or whatever the fuck. So it was cool, and it made me want to watch the movies, and I did watch the movies, and I enjoyed them a lot. But I don't think it's like amazing or anything. I don't know. I'd say like a 7. I mean, it was fun. It's about it. Alien Isolation, I believe I already spoke about on a previous video because I would have platinumed it on PS4. Yeah, see, I already platinumed it on PS4 before, so no, I'm not going to reiterate on that point. Um, GTA 5, So this should be the first instance of GTA 5 because I got PS3 trophies later, so the PS3 version is like further up the list. I can't even platinum the PS3 version because they got rid of bounties because people were using bounties to hack themselves like billions of dollars. But there's a trophy for getting a bounty and surviving it. So like that game, even before it went offline, the servers was literally unobtainable for fucking like not crazy long after launch, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. But whatever. Clearly, I have a platinum, but I don't have 100% because like the last two remaining trophies involve doing heists with people and doing them really quickly and on the hardest difficulty and like flawlessly type shit. And I just didn't feel like doing the headache of it. It wasn't for a platinum trophy, so I don't really give a shit. GTA 5 is cool for the most part. I gotta say, the stuff with like some of the stuff with like Franklin kind of felt like drawn out. Like Lamar, for example, that just felt like why the fuck are we even friends with this guy? Like I don't know. Like he just seems like such a fucking like at least with like okay, Trevor's like a fucking psychopath asshole, but like you can tell he cares, undeniably cares about Michael and then eventually Franklin as well. Go back to Minecraft. No, fuck you, Rush. I already rated Minecraft. All right, I rated it a fucking 4 out of 10. You stupid bitch. Where is it at? Where did I rate it at? Yeah, right here. See, Minecraft. I have 29 trophies in the PS4 version. I have 18 trophies in the PS3. It's a, it's a game I just don't care about. It's good, but it's not for me. It was never for me. Um, but yeah, GTA 5. I mean, there's so much cool with the online. The online did become kind of shitty later on though because prices just kept increasing in the game, and I understand it's like okay, um, there's coming more and more ways to like earn money in the game, so like the prices are somewhat increasing, but like for example, I used to be able to buy like all the outfits in the game like every time an update came out with probably like 100 like couple 100,000, whereas like now anytime an update comes out like there'll be outfits that are 100,000 each and there's like a shitload. It's like dude, it's costing like millions of like easily millions just to fucking clear out the outfits, let alone like the cars and all the other bullshit, masks and shit. Like like certain outfits and certain masks used to be like a couple $100 a piece, maybe a couple thousand, and now they're like fucking tens of thousands, usually, and more often than not, at least 50K if not higher. That's kind of dumb as shit. Also, certain things made the game like worse until it finally got a little bit better. Um, the rocket bike that could fly was like the worst fucking mistake the game ever made, honestly. Some of the back end shit was lame. Um, issue like you can still like follow people with like crews if you have a crew invite. That's like the dumbest shit possible. Yeah, like I should be able to cancel it, but you're not able to, which is like unless the person that gets it. But of course, if they're trolling, then they're gonna fucking not. But whatever, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, the main story is cool. Like it's important to talk about online, by the way, because like half the fucking trophies are online as well, and it's a huge part of the game. It's like a big part of why the game fucking has made billions of dollars. So it is very important. But yeah, the story's cool. The collecting shit's annoying, and it's always been annoying in GTA games. Like, here's 100 hidden packages. Here's fucking, like in previous games. Here's fucking, like 100 pigeons. Here's like this, that, and the other. There's like, what is it, 50 paper scraps and like 50 UFO parts and just a bunch of annoying bullshit. And certain missions, like certain property missions and shit, after you beat the game, stop spawning, which means like certain trophies you couldn't get unless you had to replay the game and get those trophies before you completely beat the game. And certain like properties and shit you couldn't get unless you planned out the assassination shit right, because you'd have to have enough money to like purchase certain stocks after you kill a guy because you're playing the stock market. That's the whole point of them. But you have to wait for those until you beat the game because then you'll have the most money to actually make a difference. Otherwise, like good fucking luck buying the golf course, which is $150 million. which is like damn near impossible to get, like just playing the game normally. But yeah. It sounds like, I have a lot of complaints. I do have a lot of complaints with GTA 5 because I mean, I put like years into the game. Like, if I could search, I can't show this on screen because it would take too long for me to get the stuff out for it, and I don't feel like doing it. So, fuck you, I guess. But if I were to check my PlayStation profile right now, it tells me like the games that I've played the longest, put the most hours into. And right away, I have to point out the PS4 version of GTA 5, I have fucking 3,100 hours in. 30, almost 3,200 hours in. Like, that's how much I've played that game. Just digging around online. And then the PS5 version, I put 71 hours, which tells you, like, by this point, I don't really give a shit. I stopped playing after there was like a big crew issue with my game. Rush was part of that crew, and it was a whole like shit show. But that's neither here nor there. Um, that doesn't that doesn't pertain to the quality of the game itself, so I wouldn't count it against the game. Um, there's so much shit to do in the game though, and like it's really fun. The story's great. The characters are great, for the most part. The side stuff is like pretty funny. Um, the soundtrack. Yeah, I don't know why I was throwing a T at the end there. Soundtrack is like amazing. Um, yeah, what do I fuck this game? There's so much like positive and negative emotions I have towards this game for a variety of reasons. It's hard for me to give a score. This is actually the hardest one for me to give a score because like yeah, it's just so fucking polarizing to myself in many aspects. I think realistically I have to give it an 8.5. I think it would be criminal to give it anything lower than that. Well, I'd say criminal to give it anything lower than an 8 because I mean it's just like even if there's a lot of shit in the game, and I've said this before and like to friends and shit, but like there's almost nothing GTA 5 I feel like does amazingly in and of itself of like specific mechanics. Like it's not a great driving game. It's not a great golf game. It's not a great tennis game. It's not a great shooting game, but like it has everything. It doesn't need to be the best of the best in any particular area. It's the jack of all trades of games. Like by far it is the jack of all trades. Like bar none. And for that reason, like it's just there's so much shit to do and fun to have. Like I could fuck around like for hours with a friend, just trying to see like how easy it is to get certain vehicles up a fucking mountain. Which is nothing. That's nothing for gameplay, but you know what? That's fun. That is very fun to do. And I know I said earlier that just having fun with friends is enough. Like even just doing it on my own, I could have fun with that. Like it's just a fun little challenge. Like try this. Like there's so many opportunities to fuck around in the game. And even in the GTA 3 days, that's always been true, but like it just gets better and better every game. So yeah, I think 8.5 out of 10. Um, geez, Hitman. Hmm. Let me skip Hitman for now. I'll go back to it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. I like some Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. War of the Roses on PS2 is actually one of my favorite PS2 games of all time. There's like a couple different Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I had the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards as well, including I had two different dual discs as well. I was definitely a Yu-Gi-Oh! Kid. You watched a bit of GX. Legacy of the Duelist is cool. It just replays parts of like the main story. It's just a Yu-Gi-Oh game. I mean, there's nothing really fucking amazing about it. Do you like Yu-Gi-Oh? Sure. You'll notice I haven't gotten 100% of the trophies, but I played as much as I actually played Yu-Gi-Oh, which was like how much I watched and how much I played a little bit of it, which was like Duelist Kingdom. Well, the original series, right? So like Duelist Kingdom and fucking Battle City and a little bit into the Dragon bullshit. And then Yu-Gi-Oh GX, which I saw like probably half of the show or whatever. But yeah, I've never done like the synchro shit or the fucking XYZ summon or the pendulum shit. Like, I don't know shit about any of that. And honestly, some of it just seems really dumb as fuck, and I just haven't really done any of it. Eventually, I will at some point do 100% of the trophies on this, even though there's no platinum. I did the like 3 or 4 online trophies for the game though, so like even if the server shut down, I could still get the platinum. Or sorry, I could still get the 100% rather. Jak 3, we already talked about. Trials Fusion. Trials Fusion is a really hard game, but I do enjoy Trials Fusion. I put a good amount of hours into that fucking game. Really just trying my damnedest, but man, are the trophies are just like the hardest fucking shit. You put in so much effort just to get like no fucking trophies. uh, yeah, I never had any of the DLC packs either, but yeah, it was just such a fucking difficult game. I could never. I tried so hard to fucking complete Inferno 4. I tried so fucking hard, just couldn't do it. Such a shame. Yeah, I was meaning to go back to the Trials games because I know they have like new ones. I think Trials Rising was like the latest one. There might have been one past that. I don't know, but they're just really hard games and they need a lot of time sink, but they are fun. Jak X. I will say, trying to 100% all the cars and shit is actually a lot more grindy than I remember it being, and I didn't have as much fun with it as I thought I would when the game finally came out. But I did very much enjoy the game. I like the story. I like the combat racing aspect. Like the different like weapon upgrades to kill your opponents and shit. For that reason, like it's impossible to like permadeath this game, which is why I would never attempt it. Of course, on this channel, I've permadeath Jak 1 already. I've made many attempts to permadeath Jak 2, haven't been successful yet, but we'll get there eventually. Um, but yeah, you couldn't really do it on next. But yeah, enjoy the story, enjoy the characters. Finally get a story beat situation that has been hinted at since the first game, and finally comes full circle and finishes up in Jak X. Um, and cuts out something that happened at the end of Jak 3, which was like kind of weird. And yeah, just racing with cars and blowing shit up is cool. Like that's all you need. So I don't know. Oh, I should say too that I think Jak X has the most consistently good soundtrack of all the Jak games. Like, I mean, Lost Frontier, as much as I don't like saying Voldemort's name, because it's definitely the fucking black sheep of the series. It did have good music, but like nothing that I would sit there and be like, oh my god, I definitely need to listen to this soundtrack on its own. And there's definitely like Jak 1 and Jak 2, which like I'd probably listen to at least half the soundtrack, I'd say. But there's plenty of songs on both those soundtracks that I don't really give a shit about. In Jak 3, I only like maybe like 2 songs at most, maybe 3 if we're really pushing it. Whereas Jak X, I like almost the entire fucking album, like the entire soundtrack. It all sounds kind of samey, I will say, but like it's all consistently good. I rarely listen to soundtracks. Yeah, that's fair. I bought the collector's editions of Jak 1, 2, 3, and X, which came with like the soundtracks. Which is why I actively have them listen to them. I mostly don't listen to game soundtracks. There's just a few of them that like speak to me in such a way that I'm just like, okay, yeah, let's listen to this, right? Like, the Jak games are a big example of that, of course. I want to get the Bully soundtrack, and they do sell it on like iTunes and shit, but they don't. It's not the full soundtrack. It's like just 20 songs, but like the actual soundtrack has more than that. So I don't know why they only sell like a snippet of the songs. So I almost feel like I want to like buy the soundtrack off iTunes, right? To like support the artist, and then just like find a site that like fucking has the soundtrack available for download, and then just download like full ass soundtrack, not like the. So like pay them money for their thing, but then get the extra songs that I don't otherwise have for some reason, or that they didn't otherwise package with it. So because I don't know why they didn't. Another a soundtrack I definitely didn't steal, but that my friend definitely bought legitimately and gave to me as a present and doesn't have is the Wild Arms 3 soundtrack. And I'm not going to be rating Wild Arms 3 today. It's the game just above Crash Bandicoot Warped. Because I want that to like be the start of like the next video I do. But yeah, that totally legit friend that exists and definitely paid for the soundtrack legitimately. Uh, gave me that soundtrack to Wild Arms 3, which I fucking love a good amount of songs on there. Not all of them because there's like 100 fucking songs or some shit. But I like 30 of them. They go pretty fucking hard on the pan flutes, and I'm a sucker for pan flutes. So it's like it's like Western and pan flute music mixed together, made by a Japanese developer. It's like sure, all right, you know what? Let's go, let's do it. And of course the Undertale soundtrack. I have the Toe Jam and Earl soundtrack. I like some of the shit with that, but yeah, that's it's neither here nor there. Sonic Mania. I played a little bit of it. I enjoyed it. I just didn't really feel like it just felt like more of the same shit to be honest. Which is nice because that's what people want from Sonic games, but like even though I bought the collector's edition of this game, I don't know, I just never really felt like a need to like go back and like, oh my god, I gotta beat it. Um which some people would be like, oh well then it's kind of when you damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If you do something new, Sonic fans want the old shit. If you do something old, then they're not gonna play it. But like the difference is like with the new shit, I haven't bought any of it. Whereas like Sonic Mania, I actively bought like the biggest edition of, so it's kind of like you know at least one actually got my purchase. um, Injustice 2, I don't recall. Do I have Injustice 1 already on this list? I don't know if I already referred to it. Okay, it appears as though I've already talked about it in a previous one. Injustice 2 just continues a storyline that came from Injustice 1. And I mean it's cool. I don't think it's as cool, but it's got its shit going for it. Also, but the thing that pisses me off with Injustice 2 is it included like it felt like it was like the start of like not the start, I guess, but like it ramped up the whole bullshit of like here's your augmented gear you have to get for your fighting character, and it's cosmetic, but they actually have stats attached to it, and you have to try to get a set of them, and it's like there's so much fucking grinding with it just to try to get some stupid ass sets that give a little bit of like stat bonuses. And it's like, dude, it's a fighting game. Like, why is this like an RPG? But at least in an RPG, like, you have a set. Like, it's easier to farm than this shit. This is like the worst thing. It's like it's a worse RPG element, like shoved into a fighting game for God knows what reason. And that's built into the very core of the game so much that like I don't even care about the trophy hunting aspect of it. It's just fucking annoying. Like it actively detracts from the game so much. Yeah, like I can't. I'd have to give the game a 6. Actually, no, fuck that. I'll give it a 5. Fuck that. It drags it down so much. Even though I don't mind the story, like the gameplay, it's just cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just like it's such a greedy monetization thing, so slimy. Um. So yeah, it's fuck is Midnight Suns. Hmm, I don't know. Sorry, I'm gonna scroll back to where I was before. I've obviously already talked about Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm gonna just double check to see if I talked about LA Noire. I believe I did previously. Yeah, see the PS. So I already talked about the PS3 version, which means I'm going to obviously avoid talking about the PS4 version because there's nothing like amazingly different about the two. So that's fine by me. Okay, now let me go back to chat now that the fucking ad break is over. I also know of a definite real friend that gives definite legitimate things. Yeah, for sure. The thing is, without the help of that definite legitimate friend, I would have bought the fucking soundtrack if it was available. Like, let me point out this. I own the soundtrack of Yakuza 0, and it's two separate albums because there's a part 1 and part 2. Same thing with Yakuza 4, there's a part 1 and part 2. And I also own Yakuza 3, which is just it's a single part, right? It's a full ass album. I've bought those albums. Like, I fucking own them. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I just recently I bought an album today that was also a Yakuza album. And I think it was Yakuza 5. I don't think I actually even fucking own the I haven't played Yakuza 5 yet. But because like I've liked the soundtrack to previous games so much, that I was willing to support the series because I felt it was good enough to like. Yeah, see, I bought Volume 1 of Yakuza 5, and eventually I'll buy Volume 2 as well. So I'm not opposed to buying soundtracks. I even bought the Undertale soundtrack. Not only did I get it in the collector's edition, but even before I got that, I had bought the soundtrack off iTunes, and I bought the soundtrack to Deltarune Chapter 1 off iTunes as well. I'm definitely willing to buy soundtracks that are fucking great. It's just you need to offer them to me. Like, there's no offer for Wild Arms 3 except for a fucking Japanese disc that's like hundreds of dollars out of print that the developers wouldn't even get any money from. Luckily, my totally legit friend had a copy that in his basement that he had stashed away for years. That definitely is totally legit. But it's just like, like, am I supposed to feel bad about that? No. Like, they wouldn't have got the money. Like, if they had released that album for, like, say, $15 and, like, here's the whole game soundtrack, it's like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. Same thing with this bully thing. Like, even though, like, I would totally never pirate music ever, never would do that. But, like, in a hypothetical world where I would do that, because I was obviously joking earlier, it was hypothetical. Like, I would do what I said, hypothetically, of course, that I would just buy the actual album on iTunes, like with the money or whatever, right? And then just find a site that has like the full soundtrack because the iTunes version doesn't have the full soundtrack. But anyway, ran on that over. Have you played Midnight Suns? I have no idea what the fuck that is. So I'm gonna guess the answer is no. Um, like never heard of it. I'll take a look. I'll Google it real quick because I'm curious. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Is this what this is? I really haven't played any Marvel games. Um, for the most part, it's like a card. Oh yeah. If we're talking card games, the only card games I've ever really done are like Yu-Gi-Oh games. That's about it. I think I played a little bit of Duel Masters, which is a PS2 game. I remember owning it for like a hot minute, but I don't remember much of the game at all. And I mean, there's obviously shit like like poker or something, right? But like it's whatever. But yeah, I've never played shit like Magic the Gathering or like fucking the Pokemon trading card game or like shit like that. Even though I did own some of the cards for Pokemon, I never actually played the game proper. So yeah, unfortunately, I've never tried it. Okay. Um, I mean, part of me doesn't even want to talk about Hitman on 2000, the 2016 version because I feel like the Hitman games have to be the Hitman games. Like, I feel like I need to talk about all three of them at once. The Hitman 2016, 2018, and 2021. I need to talk about them all at once, and I don't feel like talking about all three of them right now. I feel like I should probably just wait till I get to Hitman 3 because every single map of Hitman 2016 is within every like the game of 2018. So like I played all of Hitman 1, 100% of it, even past like trophy hunting. I 100% everything in that fucking game. And then I played it on, then Hitman 2 came out and you could fucking like transfer over those maps, but you had to redo like the challenges again. And I redid the challenges again and the new challenges. And then Hitman 3 comes out and the DLC, free and the progress actually transfers over, but there's a couple things you had to do. So like I beat the game like all the levels again, all Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 levels again, including the Hitman 3 levels, except for like some of the newer ones I haven't done yet for Hitman 3, like some of the DLC shit. But like yeah, I mean I did Hitman. I've done every single fucking challenge in Hitman 1 3 separate times. And every single challenge in Hitman 2 2 separate times. So, if that tells you anything. I really enjoy the games, but yeah, I feel like because they're like a trilogy and like they're very connected in such a like unique way that like I feel like I need to talk about them all at once about how I would rate them. Although I will rate them differently depending. Like Hitman 1's a little bit worse on the 2016 version. Like it looks a little bit nicer. It controls a little bit better in the Hitman 2 version. And then all that shit controls even better in Hitman 3, like a little bit, and looks a little bit nicer. Although Hitman 3 did get rid of like there was like an exploit, not really an exploit, but there was like a really cheesy item you could use that would just make missions like super fucking easy, and so they got rid of it for Hitman 3, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, I won't talk about the Hitman games anymore until we get to Hitman 3, and so that's it. We'll finish this off today. Obviously, you'll notice here that I won't be talking about Arkham City or GTA 5 again because I've already talked about them. Um, so I'm going to talk about Crash Bandicoot Warped. I think I did. If I played this as a kid, it wasn't that much, but I do enjoy the game. Like when these games were announced, I did buy these games on the PS3 store, like because you can buy PS1 games on the PS3 store, and I 100%ed the games in terms of like all the fucking gems and shit, right? Like obviously I'm not doing like time trial developer time shit, but 100% of the games on the PS3 version or the PS1 version on PS3. And yeah, again, I feel like they're pretty faithfully recreated. Graphics look great. Cutscenes, looking better. Controls are fine. I think with this game, I don't enjoy the vehicle sections of these games as much. So Crash 1 is held in a higher regard for me than Crash 2 or 3 are. But I think Crash 3 has the nice part of like not having shitty ice physics like Crash 2 does. And so for that reason, I'd put 3 a little bit higher than 2, just a little bit. Also, I think the villain in Crash 3 is cooler. I like Uka Uka. Or than just like, oh, here's Cortex again, but for some reason we're trusting him. Even though there are some like funny moments with them, but it's just kind of like, this is stupid even by Crash standards. Um, yeah. Oh, and then the cutscene stuff, I guess that's cool too. But yeah, I would say I put like, what did I say? Like Crash 1 was like a 9. Did I say it was a 9.5? I think I did. 9.5, and then Crash 2 was like an. Did I put Crash? I think I put Crash 2 as an 8.5. If I didn't, then I'm doing that now. And then I'll put Crash 3 as a 9. So like Crash 3 is a 9, Crash 1's a 9.5, and Crash 2 is an 8.5. I feel like that's pretty good there. Um oh yeah, shout out to Hitman having 69 trophies. That's pretty nice. That's fucking stupid. Um God, okay, how long have we been going? This is the problem with like doing like fucking the games multiple times because I want to do Wild Arms 3 because then it's like, okay, I've already done GTA 5 and Arkham City. Do I want to like immediately next time I stream do Wild Arms 3 and then have to skip these two immediately? But then it's like, even if I do that, then we're still kind of at the same point because once I do My Name is Mayo and God of War Ascension, I've already done Life is Strange. So I'd end up skipping that. And later on, there's a couple things I'd end up probably skipping as well. But yeah. I think we're good with where we are. Next time I'll start off, I'll do Wild Arms 3, which is again one of my favorite like PS2 games. If I had to do like a top 10 PS2 games, Wild Arms 3 would be on there. Bully would be on there. Jack 1 would be on there. Jack 2 would be on there. Maybe Jack 3. We'll exclude it for now, but then we'll say like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses. Probably Dragon Ball Budokai, like Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Yeah, I think that's a good one to go with. The Scooby Doo game, Simpsons Hit and Run, probably the Scarface game, San Andreas. Like that's probably the 10 right there, if I'm being honest. Maybe there'd be a couple different movements, but it'd be really hard. Like if it's not top 10, it has to be at least top 15. Like it's really fucking close. I really enjoy Wild Arms 3, but I'll talk about that next time. How long we've almost been going 2 hours, and honestly, it's like fucking 6:30 in the morning, and I can't be fucked anymore. This I was only supposed to do like an hour stream, uh, but I just kept going and going. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm gonna take a look and see how far I made it. So we started here at Wolf Among Us, which with this it's like okay, here's a full screen here. Here's a full screen here. It says 2. Full screen here, which is 3. Full screen, that's 4. So we made it to roughly like 5 screens worth of fucking trophies, which is nice. And this took us up from actually, if we want to look at year wise, that's probably a better indicator, to be honest. It took us up from like May of 2017 all the way up to about um up until like July of 2018, which is a little bit roughly over a year, and that might not seem like a lot. But the thing is, I ended up getting like fucking 30 something like platinum trophies that year, just in 2017 alone. So it was a very productive year for trophy hunting. Like 2017, I think 2015, those 2 years were pretty cracked. Last year was really cracked for platinum. Actually, yeah, 2021. Honestly, 2021 and 2022 were pretty fucking cracked for platinum hunting. Same thing with 2023. Like I don't know, it's just been going pretty well with the last like 3 years. 2020 was like not great at all, but that's just because I got stuck playing like much longer games overall, like Final Fantasy VII remake and Hitman Absolution and fucking Outer Worlds. Actually, Outer Worlds was from 2019 mainly, and I platinumed it just into 2020, but that's I guess neither here nor there at the end of the day. But yeah, next time we start, I'll do so starting from where is it at? Wild Arms 3, but like from here. So we got it looks like we're about halfway based on this bar on the side. You probably can't see it, but like the scroll up and down bar, we seem to be just under halfway done with all these games. But the thing is, like some of these we're gonna skip by, of course, because if you can see over here, there's a lot of doubling up on games. The PJ Masks games are doubled up. Fast and Furious is because it's like later up. GTA again. My Friend Peppa Pig. Fucking we're gonna reach the era, and this is gonna be like a fucking portrait stream when we do. But we're gonna reach the era of all the dumbass kids games I played in fucking 2022, which unfortunately was around the year of like when I started streaming. And so a lot of the games I ended up it was like the complete polar opposite of everything. So like I started streaming fucking Yakuza 3, which is like a very serious crime drama for the most part, like adult game, paired with like all the children's games I played in between just for trophies. Like the fucking like like DC League of Super Pets and shit like that, just like dumbass games. JoJo Siwa. I'm still sad that I lost the playthrough of JoJo Siwa. I like I uploaded it to YouTube. YouTube said it was mostly fine, like it just got banned in Russia and like one other country. And then so I uploaded it and it was like but as soon as like it actually went live, and this was after like the Twitch stream disappeared, so like I lost the fucking file completely. Like I never had like once it got uploaded to YouTube, it just like it got banned in every country because of copyrighted music because it's in the game. And I didn't download it, and I wish I would have, because then I could have gotten clips out of it. But yeah, so there's not really a record that I played that game, except for people that were there that remember it. Interesting though. Can't see it personally. Yeah, that makes sense. I was trying to cut off like the bookmark bar at the top and like the web whatever shit, like the web address, and so that makes sense. I can't remember if Johnny Morton was there or not for when I played JoJo Siwa. He would have been around during that, but I don't know if he actually caught that specific. I think I did 2 streams for it. And I'm very disappointed that even to this day, I still have one song occasionally stuck in my head from that fucking idiot. Like a kid in a candy store. I did see some of it. Yeah, thanks, Johnny. Well, at least someone got to share my pain. The one thing, the main, so I remember that, and then I do remember actively, I was making fun of it. I just, there's a lot of good jokes there. Like, it's just such a shame because it's like, I would have kept it if it didn't block the viewing everywhere. Because, okay, I lose the whole monetization thing for it. Like, fair enough, but I lost, like, people couldn't even watch the fucking thing. It's like, that sucks. I at least wish I could have gotten some clips on it, but it's just, I can't now. A lot of funny jokes, I felt like, where I made fun of the game. Um, and I did remember there's one part where I was able to consistently keep activating a bug in the game, like where if you like in one very specific part of the game, if you kept swapping between outfits too quickly, only in this one area, like it would fucking crash the game consistently every time. Which that was amusing to me. But yeah, that's good. I don't want to get too much into like the hellhole I'm eventually gonna have to get to, like the fucking Peppa Pigs and the dinosaur shit. But yeah, just rest assured, even though it is slightly lower than half of the games, a lot of these games I've double dipped on. So the actual the actual amount of what's left isn't nearly as high. I'd say it's probably more like I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through, maybe a little bit less, 60%, something like that. But yeah, I think I've exhausted this long enough. Thanks for everyone that oh, there's an ad break. Cool. I love ad breaks. Well, I can at least take the. I don't have like an ending screen. I realize for OBS, I could try to do that, I guess. But yeah, we don't need the starting soon, and we don't need the BRB, I guess. This is not going to be BRB. GG. Thanks, Johnny, for the GG. I don't know if you can even hear me. Are you a fucker that has Prime? I have no idea. It's a mystery, really. Thanks. It was interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that the fucking ad break's happening right when I'm about to end the stream. So like now I gotta fucking, I know who I'm gonna raid actually after this. So I'm gonna start the raid up where I type it in. There we go. It'd be great if I could spell the name right. But anyway, thanks for now that the ad break's over, so I can actually do my fucking outro for the people that are here. Thanks everyone that popped in earlier, Ritos, saying Anarchy, if they're still here or not, I don't know, whatever. If you are, the shout out for being a bro. If you're not, then hopefully it somehow reaches you at some point in the world that you were a bro. Um, the Bathory, of course. Rush for actually fuck Rush, he sucks. That guy, no one's fan of him. Shout out to Bolt for listening in apparently on me at some point, maybe even still now, don't know. Of course, Johnny as well. And we're gonna raid someone who's playing the gacha game that I normally play. I think he's playing the Japanese version, but I don't fucking know. Who cares? But yeah, I'm gonna raid him with the 4 or 5 people I have left in here. Catch me some other time where I'm gonna stream like sooner than I was streaming today. Oh, I got off 7 days. That's good. Good to avoid. He sent me a fucking invite earlier, even though I don't play the game. But yeah, I'm gonna try this. It's my 6. I really should try to at least play Slender before the fucking thing. I think once I have to do Life is Strange 3 first here because which I'm not streaming it, but I have to play the game because it's a GameFly game. It's been sitting here for a while already. And the reason I haven't been streaming sooner than that is because I was trying to catch up on the videos I did of House of Ashes because I like to listen to the videos back and then get clips that way. And if I take too long, then it disappears from Twitch, which means it never exists as a Twitch clip anymore because the video disappears. And which means I have to download the whole video to make a clip for YouTube, which is like way more of a pain in the ass. So it's a much more streamlined process if I do it like within the 2 weeks that it's available from Twitch. So I put streaming on hold to like catch up on that because I was trying to catch up on all my YouTube shit. But yeah, nobody really gives a shit, I guess. Thanks everyone. Da, da, da. Let's do the outro that I always do. Do 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 do. And now we hit the raid button. Actually, I'll let the timer do the raid button. 2, 1, 0. There we go. And stop streaming.